The State University of New York at Buffalo presents a UB Athletics production of Men's Tennis Bulls Update.
And we welcome in head men's tennis coach Lee Nickel, just back from a pretty successful overall weekend trip down to West Point, where you had 3 different matches, including one against Army. So let's recap the weekend for you and start with Friday night when you take on the Black Knights of Army, and it winds up being a 4-3 win for your guys.
Oh, yeah, it was a very good college tennis match. It came down to Damian David at 1, and he pulled it out. He came through in a tough 3-setter. Army, the guys, we just have so much respect for those guys on that team, and they came out and took it to us in dubs, very energetic, really swinging away, and they're a very solid team, so it's nice to get a win against them.
As a coach, you feel good if your match is going to come down to a guy like Damian David? You feel pretty good about that,
For sure. You know he's not going to get too tight, get too nervous. He's been in those situations before, and he normally rises to the occasion, at most times.
Right. All right. So that was Friday, and then Saturday you take on Boston College, and I don't want to say it was easy because I'm sure it wasn't easy, but at least when it's a sweep, it looks easy, right?
Right. We've been looking for the consistent everybody playing at the same level match where everyone shows up, and that was it. I mean, it's Boston College is in the ACC. They're good. They're a team that, I don't know if on paper we'd be expected to beat, but we came out there and everybody competed at the same level. Everybody executed. Everybody brought their A game, and it was a nice victory for us.
It's the age-old coaching question, but how and why did that happen on that particular day? How'd you get that out of your guys?
I don't know. Maybe it was because it was a little bit later in the day. The guys were up and ready to go. Maybe it's the fact Boston College is in the ACC. Mm-hmm. That's another aspect that may have motivated the guys, but we switched some lineup stuff around. We had a new doubles team in at 3 to test them out, and that may have brought us some energy too.
Right, and then on Sunday you get a really good big-time test, maybe their biggest test of the year, nationally ranked Central Florida. What did you learn about your team compared to the first 2 in that day?
We're just kind of taking care of business against the teams that we should beat, and we're not quite getting over the hump against the teams that are considered a little bit better than us. And we kept Akil and Nolan at 3 doubles, and it came down to their match, and they lost in a tiebreaker. Very tight, played really well. And then we got into singles. We took 3 of the first sets. We split at number 3, and we were in there really tight. The match lasted a long time, but we did a clinch format, so we didn't get to finish it out. And unfortunately, Pablo ended up losing 4 in the third, and that was the match. But it was we were right there with them. I still think like we're a couple weeks away from our best tennis. Really.
All right. Well, speaking of the next couple of weeks, on the road at Cleveland State on Saturday, going to be a good test for your guys. And then the first chance for Lee and the men's tennis team to get back home comes up on February 20th when the Bulls take on Niagara. Have a good couple weeks. We'll check in with you next week.
All right, great. Thanks, man.
Lee Nickel is the UB men's tennis coach. For the latest on his team, check ubbulls.com.